Avengers Infinity War is the third entry in the Avengers films, which will see the largest crossover in the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, featuring the likes of Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and the Incredible Hulk. Infinity War will feature the Mad Titan Thanos as he makes his way to the Earth in order to attain the Infinity Stones and assemble them in his Infinity Gauntlet. With the power of the Gauntlet, Thanos would be granted virtual omnipotence and wield more power than all of the Marvel heroes combined. Infinity War has been built up for nearly the entirety of the MCU, and as such, the hype and fan expectations are incredibly high. So what are 5 things fans need to see in the upcoming Avengers Infinity War? Well, in this video, we're going to list them off. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and enable notifications so you can see all of my content right away when it comes out. Alright guys, so in this video we're going to be listing off 5 things we need to see in the upcoming Avengers Infinity War film. And joining me today is someone you've seen on Laughingstock Media and Laughingstock Cinema in the past, and his name is...
I hate when you do that and his name is... No.
Alright, so Avengers Infinity War has been built up throughout the entirety of the MCU, originally starting out with Iron Man and Nick Fury showing up at the end with the Avengers Initiative, and then at the very ending of the first Avengers film, seeing Thanos and hearing the words of how he would court death, which obviously is very in line with Thanos as a character. So this has been built to the entire time, and it really has a lot of hype behind it, which as a result, you know, with all these expectations having been built, there's some things that fans just have to see in this upcoming film. So the first thing that we're going to be getting into is cosmic battles, something that I think would be incredibly cool and important to show in this story because of the fact that Thanos is a cosmic villain. The Infinity Gauntlet itself is something that warps and threatens the entirety of the universe, and also at this point when we have stuff like the Guardians of the Galaxy and the most recent Thor Ragnarok, which most of it takes place out in space, I think it's time to show some awesome cosmic battles just like in the comics and the cartoons.
Agreed, and you know, in the trailer for Infinity War, we're seeing a lot of Wakanda, or what looks like Wakanda, and some New York too, which we've already been in those locations before, obviously, specifically with Avengers 1 and with Black Panther. And I like the idea of them revisiting those locations for this film because they are iconic locations for these movies. But I do agree in the sense that I would love to see more cosmic battles take place in different parts of the universe. Because like you said, it's on a cosmic scale now. This is not about the future of Earth. This is about the future of the entire existence of life with the dangers of the Infinity Gauntlet. So that being said, I think that having it take place on Earth is a good idea to kick things off. But I think as the story progresses, they need to go beyond that, which maybe they'll save for the next film, Avengers 4, coming out next year. And maybe they'll keep this one more grounded to kind of bring everybody in. We'll see, but I do want to see that.
Yeah, it could possibly be that the film starts out with a sort of cosmic battle because, as I said off the air, in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, it kind of begins with Silver Surfer coming from space and warning everyone on the Earth of how he fought Thanos out in space and how he now has the full power of the Infinity Gauntlet, which sets up the whole resistance to try and take him down and take the gauntlet from him. So I think it'd be really cool to kick it off with maybe like Thanos fighting against Thor, and this is where Loki, you know, hands him the cosmic cube, which is the Tesseract.
Yeah. Well, we know that he's going to be getting the stones in this movie. We just don't know if he's going to be getting all the stones. That's the question. You know, there's different ways of thinking about it. Some think he's going to get half the stones, and then in the next one he'll get the other half, or maybe the movie will end with the cliffhanger of him getting all the stones.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool.
And before somebody says like, oh, well, what about Ant-Man and Wasp coming out afterward? Remember, these MCU movies don't have to take place chronologically. We know that Black Panther is a week after Civil War, so it takes place before Homecoming and before Thor Ragnarok. So you can put them out, you know, in different orders and whatnot.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, but the whole purpose of this film should be him getting those stones. I mean, we know from that leaked footage that he's gonna go visit the Collector, which is in space. So we're gonna have a lot of space stuff in this movie no matter what. So he's gonna go out and get them. One way or another, he's gonna go out and get them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the next thing I did want to talk about on this, because I think Thanos assembling the Infinity Stones and actually showing him gathering them throughout the film would be pretty awesome. And I think it would also play up on this aspect of it being the Infinity War, because in the comics, the Infinity War is something that's a little bit different from what we're seeing now. But I think it would be cool to see like Thanos go to the Collector like he did in the comic in the Thanos quest and taking the Reality Stone from him, and then coming to the Earth and then waging war against the Avengers and, you know, taking what is rightfully theirs, or, you know, in his case, what's rightfully his. So I think that's going to be awesome to see that happen, and just to see like him demonstrating the power of those stones as well, because he could literally warp time, he could warp reality to where, you know, he can create something out of nothingness, he could basically alter how you think, how you function, he can control everything about you, or even erase you completely along with the entire universe with this Infinity Gauntlet.
Right, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see how they close out the book on this, because in the comics, there's a couple different ways that they beat him.
Yeah.
But I don't want to spoil it for anyone because they might do it for the movie. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, so the next thing that I want to talk about is, I guess, how the opposition to Thanos is going to be improving their firepower and their defensive tactics with new technology. So, you know, Iron Man, for example, might get some new Iron Man suits. That's always one of the cool things about seeing him in action, that he always shows up with a new suit, the Mark 27 or something at this point.
Right. Well, I want to see a lot of new tech, like not just from him, but, you know, Black Panther had tons of really awesome James Bond-esque tech. And I want to see that too. Like, I agree with you. I want to see new tech from, and also, you know, you got Peter Parker with the Iron Spider suit, which we've seen in the trailer. Obviously, Thanos himself is going to be bringing some new tech. You know, he's a space guy. So, you know, they got to push that Marvel science fiction angle a lot, I think, with this movie. I think they should do it. I'm more of a fantasy guy than science fiction, but you got to kind of do it here because, you know, and it's too bad because usually Mr. Fantastic would be one of the ones right in there, like, you know, giving them stuff, but...
Even Doctor Doom.
Yeah, but, you know, they haven't finalized the rights to those characters yet, but if they do, we might see more of that in the future.
I wish that they would do some kind of quick deal, you know, where they could just use the characters before the whole big deal goes through, but I mean, that's probably impossible at this point. You know, the film's coming out in May. I really don't think that there's any real likelihood of that happening.
Nah, it's too soon, bro. It's too soon.
But that does lead into the next thing that we want to talk about, which is big character cameos, not only of Marvel characters from the movies, but also from the Netflix TV shows, because I love Daredevil, Luke Cage is awesome, Jessica Jones. You know, if this is going to threaten the Earth and the entire universe, shouldn't these guys be able to join the fight and try and fight Thanos as well and defend their turf?
Well, the problem is that Kevin Feige has issues getting along with the TV guy, like whatever the TV guy's name is. So because of this, you know, we might not see them, even though they should be there helping out.
And that's one of the big things that is a disappointment for me about the MCU, because it would be so awesome to see like Daredevil teaming up with Spider-Man, or like the Punisher show up, and maybe the Punisher and Spider-Man have like their own kind of problems, but we've seen that stuff happen in the comics before. They even had the Venom Punisher at one point, you know, Tom Hardy interacting with the Punisher.
They even had the Punisher against Wolverine too. I mean, the Punisher doesn't care, bro. He'll take on anybody, even if he does not give a damn. That's why I like that character.
Yeah, he's great. But that leads into the final thing that we're going to be talking about on this list, and that is big Avenger deaths. Because the thing is, even though we've really grown attached to characters like Captain America, like Tony Stark, like Bruce Banner, even characters like Vision and Scarlet Witch, Thanos is a character that is such a big threat, such an unstoppable, indomitable force, that when he shows up, especially with that gauntlet, people are going to die. And I think in order to really prove what big of a threat Thanos is, to really like put him over, to use wrestling terms, you have to have him kill at least one of the big Avengers. So
yeah, I mean, we see in the trailer he looks like he might be killing Vision. Thor, there was that scene that leaked from the original leaked trailer where it looks like he crushed his skull. So yeah, the time has come for him to go in there and body some dudes, and I'm not saying they can't bring him back later, but dudes might need to die in this movie, dude. I mean, the big rumor is that Tony Stark's just going to die at the end of part 4, and then that's going to be it for that character. Or Cap. I mean, they've been around forever. So we'll see. We'll see. But no, I think that having him come in and wreck shit, which is what we're all expecting, I think it has to happen, bro. I really do.
Yeah, Thanos is perhaps my favorite Marvel villain, at least in terms of like the big overall threats to like everyone, kind of like a dark side character.
That's what he is. Exactly.
Except in the MCU, he's going to be done correctly, you know. Come on, DC. You should have been able to get that right, but whatever. That's a whole other story. But the thing is that when it comes to this, I think a cool idea would be to kill either Captain America or Iron Man in this, because the thing is, like, you can have the next Avengers, basically, if we're gonna have a cliffhanger for this one leading into the next Avengers, you can have, like, Captain America or Iron Man get the gauntlet back at the end and be able to, like, reverse time so that they could actually, like, bring people back. So, like, even though they kill them and it's a really big emotional moment, you could just use it like the Dragon Balls, basically, and everyone comes back to life. You know, it is a comic book property, after all.
Yeah, also with the stones, they can always bring people back to life just with the power of the stones.
Yeah.
If, you know, Nebula or somebody else gets their hands on the Infinity Gauntlet and they do something that's good, you know, they could always bring them back and reverse time and all that stuff. So it's never the end. And we've seen them do this bait and switch in Marvel movies all the time when people die and, you know, they come back. You know, we think that Nick Fury died, he came back. You know, they do that all the time.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this. The Infinity Gauntlet storyline is perhaps my favorite Marvel event, so I'm really looking forward to it. This is something I've wanted to see since before Thanos even appeared in the movies. So if they really do this right, and like if they don't create tonal problems by trying to insert too much comedy into something that should be dark, and they don't drop the ball with Thanos as a character, like please put him in his actual suit, I really want to see that, then I think that this movie is going to be great, and it really has the potential to be the best Avengers and the best Marvel movie just thus far. So I'm looking forward to it.
The Russos are directing it, but it's a big challenge because people don't talk about this kind of shit. They always want to get hyped up, and that's fine, but let's be real here. They have to create a movie where they have so many main characters. This is the most characters of any Marvel movie ever, and they have to make it so that everybody gets, you know, a good amount of screen time, or you know, at least the important ones do, and that's a challenge. You've got a lot of actors that have ego. They do, and you got to give them all their proper time. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But if anybody can do it, it's
they did a good job of it for the most part with Civil War, so I think they could do it well here. I mean, it's pretty much impossible to give like tons of development to each and every character that comes in, but if they do enough or they use the characters correctly, then I think everything should go well. So let us know your own thoughts down below in the comments. Of course, check out World of Geekdom in the description and the end screen of this video. And as I always say, stick around, because there's a lot more to come in the future.
They need to cast me in this movie. What are they thinking? Wow.
If they cast me to play Thanos, it would be too simple. I wouldn't even need the glove.